But you can't be thinking you're gonna go have plastic surgery on a Groupon.
Exactly.
Like you,
The
ain't no plastic surgery on sale.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And if it's on sale, 9 times out of 10, you're not supposed to get it from the person that's having a sale on liposuction. Don't do that.
Confessing that although I love my family, most of the time I don't like my family. Everyone in my family.
Take a breath.
Everybody. I feel like I'm angry at everybody in my family. I don't like my family. If they weren't my family, it wouldn't be my friends.
Things just got straight up wild in the Braxton family, and this time Tamar took it to a level nobody saw coming. Her show ain't even about entertainment anymore. It's starting to look like a whole humiliation campaign against her own sister. Tamar went live and dragged Toni like never before, claiming Birdman dumped her after a botched BBL that supposedly left things not so fresh. Yeah, she really said that. For weeks, Tamar's been tossing little shade bombs at Toni, clowning her looks, poking at her relationship, and even hinting that Birdman's been keeping his distance for personal reasons.
That is your man, as you call it. That is your man. He knew it was a situation with me and you. And he was down. He was down to play op games. I wouldn't take nothing like that serious, my love. That ate my and I sent him on his way. It wasn't.
But when she dropped that BBL bomb, everything flipped. She didn't just accuse Toni of going under the knife. She said the surgery went so wrong that Birdman straight up couldn't handle it anymore. And now, social media is losing its mind trying to figure out what's real and what's just messy. Sister drama. Toni ain't about to let that slide, though. Sources say she's furious and plotting her clapback. If this keeps heating up, we might be watching one of the most explosive celebrity family feuds ever. And this one's got real blood ties involved.
You don't want me to expose how you were saying that you kicked her out and she went back to her mother's house? Not Mrs. Braxton, not Mrs. Not Mrs. Singer with the sold out tour that JR also told me was flex. It was cap.
So let's break it down, because this ain't just Braxton family values anymore. This is giving Braxton family blues. The Braxtons are out here airing it all, and the internet can't look away. When they said this season was bringing the drama, they weren't lying. The Braxtons might just snatch the crown from the Kardashians. Things have been pure chaos, and just when it seemed like the season hit its peak, Tamar came through and lit another match. She straight up claimed that Toni secretly got a BBL, and even called her BBL Toni, like it was her new nickname. Now, plastic surgery in Hollywood ain't exactly breaking news. Everybody's got a little something done.
It was she flexing. She don't have no sold out. Between me and you was his exact words. The tour not sold out. He said you was messy. He said you went back to your mother's house. He told me a lot of things that he shouldn't tell a stranger. I just met this man less than a week.
But what had the whole internet gagging was Tamar saying that Toni's BBL went so bad it allegedly had a smell to it. Yeah, she really said it stank so bad that Birdman almost filed for divorce over it. Wild, right? Toni, of course, denied the whole thing. She brushed it off like, come on now, this is all me, baby. She reminded everyone she's only ever admitted to getting her nose done because she didn't like how wide it was. And yeah, she once mentioned a boob job early in her career, but that's where she drew the line. Back in the day, when she was first blowing up and signing record deals with the biggest names in the game, Toni said she just wanted to look how she felt inside, confident, sharp, and stage ready. But now, thanks to Tamar's messy comments, fans are side-eyeing everything she ever said about her body. Toni once opened up about how she actually felt very lonely and had wanted to change her nose for years. She said she grew up with traditional values, so the idea of altering her body was hard to accept. But eventually, she went for it. I wanted it to be less broad, she admitted. And she didn't stop there. Toni later confessed she got her boobies done, saying she was built more like a gymnast back then, small on top but thick in the thighs. She even joked that she wished she'd gone ahead and done lipo on her inner thighs too, saying, "I've always hated them." So according to Toni, the nose job and the breast job were the only procedures she's ever had. But fans, they're not buying that fairy tale for a second. Social media detectives have been calling her out, claiming she's definitely had more work done, everything from lipo to a full BBL. And the receipts? Whew. When fans started posting side-by-side pics of Toni from her 90s era to now, the comments section went crazy. In those old throwbacks, she was naturally fine, giving that classic slim, thick vibe. But in the new pics that recently went viral, her waist looks snatched and her hips way more rounded. People are saying it's giving lipo and BBL energy, no question about it. The internet swears she's lying about her surgery past, and honestly, she wouldn't be the first celeb to play coy about it. Once you start with cosmetic work, it's easy to chase that next perfect look, and fans think Toni might have gone further than she's letting on. But just when everyone thought the drama had cooled off, Tamar came out of nowhere and confirmed the rumors. And that's when things really exploded. Word on the street is that Tamar's been out here spilling tea about Toni's secret BBL, telling folks that her sister's been passing off those curves as all natural when allegedly they're not. And the big question everyone's asking is why Tamar would drag her own blood like that. Well, it might have something to do with the fact that her and Toni have been beefing for a minute now. Their sister bond been cracking, and this season it's boiling over. Apparently, before Tamar could even start filming her next episode where she was planning to talk about it, Toni's team moved quick, sending a whole cease and desist letter to shut everything down before it ever saw daylight. That's when the real chaos kicked in. Tamar clapped back, saying people were twisting the story, claiming the other Braxton sisters turned against her to protect Toni's image. But according to insiders, that's not true at all. Trina and Tawanda allegedly spoke up, saying they had no idea Tamar even got hit with legal papers, meaning Toni handled the whole thing on her own. Now, fans are torn. Some think Toni's just being petty and trying to silence Tamar because of their never-ending tension, but others believe Toni's got bigger secrets she's trying to bury, maybe even protecting someone else caught up in the mix. Whatever the reason, one thing's clear: that cease and desist was the last straw for Tamar. She took it personal and vowed to get her lick back no matter what. And that, right there, is what sent this sister feud into overdrive. You'd think after all that chaos, Tamar would chill and stop blasting her own sister over these BBL rumors, right? But clearly, you don't know Tamar. Petty and dramatic is her middle name. And instead of backing off, she went even harder. Not only did she double down on the BBL talk, but she claimed that Toni's surgery allegedly went so bad, Birdman was ready to walk out of the marriage because of it. Yup, she really said that. Tamar seems locked in on dragging her sister's name through the mud, and it's got everybody wondering, what's really going on behind closed doors with these two? This isn't just shade. It's turning into a full-on war. And let's not forget the wild part. Remember how Toni supposedly filed for divorce from Birdman just 2 days after they got married? Reports say she called it quits almost immediately, claiming the marriage was irretrievably broken, and there was zero chance of fixing it. 2 days, y'all. You don't even get your honeymoon refund in that time? The quick breakup had fans scratching their heads, especially since it wasn't Toni and Birdman's first rodeo together. They'd been on and off for years, even calling it quits officially back in 2019. But what had everyone raising their eyebrows was what happened after. By 2023, Birdman was reportedly telling people that Toni was sliding back into his life again, like nothing ever happened. And now, with Tamar bringing these BBL allegations back into the spotlight, it's got folks wondering if that reunion was as real as it seemed, or just another round in this never-ending Braxton-Birdman saga. So here's where things really get messy. Word is, Toni allegedly started sliding back into Birdman's DMs, dropping little flirty messages and hints like she was ready to spin the block one more time. She made it clear she wanted another chance, like she was on a mission to get that old thing back. Birdman even joked to friends that it felt like their breakup never really happened, because Toni was popping up again like nothing changed. At first, Birdman wasn't having it. He said he'd already moved on and was focused on himself, new energy, new chapter. But Toni? She wasn't letting go that easy. She kept showing up, reminding him of what they once had, and apparently those old sparks started catching fire again. Before long, the chemistry came creeping back, and next thing you know, boom! They were back together, acting like all that drama from before never existed. The love story reboot lasted about a year, and in August 2024, the two made it official and tied the knot. But just when fans thought this was the happy ending to their roller coaster romance, Toni shocked everyone, again. Out of nowhere, she filed for divorce. Nobody could believe it. At the time, nobody knew the full story, so most people assumed it was about the bag, especially since Toni had been facing some financial setbacks. People figured maybe she married Birdman for security, then pulled the plug once things got complicated. But now that all these BBL allegations and family feuds are surfacing, fans are starting to think there's way more to the story than money. And just when you thought the drama couldn't get any messier, boom. Rumors started swirling that Toni allegedly tried to walk away from Birdman with a $160 million divorce payout after being married for less than a month. Yes, you heard that right. $160 million. The internet couldn't believe it, and fans went absolutely wild debating whether she was justified or just flat out reaching. Social media lit up with memes, jokes, and side eyes. People were split, some saying she deserved it for what she put up with, others calling it the most expensive 2-week marriage in history. Even 50 Cent jumped into the mess, posting on Instagram with his usual shade. Now watch. Women are gonna say, well, if you sucked D for 16 years, you would want to be paid for it too. That post alone set the comment section into chaos. Toni got dragged online, accused of being a gold digger, and her name stayed trending for days. But now, with everything Tamar's been saying, including that messy stank booty rumor, people are starting to see the story in a whole new light. If there's any truth to those behind-the-scenes whispers, maybe Toni's shocking divorce demand was just her lashing out. Imagine the embarrassment if your own husband was allegedly ready to leave over something that personal. The $160 million might have been less about greed and more about saving face, a move made out of pure hurt and humiliation. According to insiders, Toni allegedly filed first because she found out Birdman was planning to file himself and she wanted to beat him to it. It was all about control. She didn't want the world thinking he left her, and honestly, who would? Being dumped 2 days into marriage ain't exactly a power move. Luckily, reports say she later called off the divorce, and the two started patching things up. And if we're being optimistic, maybe she got some medical help along the way. Because word is, everything's fresh as a daisy now, and Birdman's definitely back in the picture. Now, let's be real. None of this juicy behind-the-scenes drama would have ever leaked if Tamar and Toni hadn't gone at each other's throats like this. Their feud cracked open the vault, and baby, the skeleton started dancing. But hold up, y'all thought it stopped there? Not a chance, because Toni wasn't about to take all that heat without clapping back in classic Toni fashion. According to insiders, she fired right back at Tamar, throwing shade about Tamar's own wild love life, especially that messy situation with her ex-fiancé, JR. And when I tell you Toni hit a nerve, whoo, she hit it deep. Just a few months ago, Tamar herself admitted that JR had been out here cheating and even stole her jewelry. Yeah, real talk, allegedly gifting it to one of his side chicks. And that wasn't even the worst part. Rumor has it, JR was caught getting way too cozy with Tommy Lee. And not just texting cozy either. Reports claim he was literally eating the booty like groceries while still with Tamar. The internet lost its mind when Tommy bragged about it, saying she wasn't the one who broke up their relationship. JR just couldn't stay loyal. Tamar, hurt and embarrassed, tried to clap back at Tommy online, but Tommy came swinging harder, making it clear she didn't feel bad one bit. She basically said, "Girl, he chose me, not you," and doubled down by laughing about how JR didn't get rid of them hoes for Tamar. It was savage, y'all. Straight reality TV levels of messy. And then Tommy dropped that line that had everybody screaming. Y'all, this next part had everybody's jaws on the floor. Tommy didn't just stop at exposing what went down. She went ahead and dropped receipts that JR was out here spilling Tamar's private business like it was happy hour gossip. She claimed he was pillow talking, telling her everything about his ex-fiance's personal life while still pretending he was so heartbroken. The whole situation turned into pure chaos online. Fans were like, wait, what is going on? Tamar's name was trending for all the wrong reasons, and people started clowning her, saying she always picks the wrong men. It was giving everybody hates Tamar energy, not because they actually hate her, but because the drama surrounding her just never ends. And here's the wildest part. JR had only known Tommy for 1 week. 1 week, and he was already trash-talking Tamar to her biggest enemy? That's bold and messy. He knew exactly what kind of tension existed between those two women, and instead of backing off, he jumped headfirst into the fire. At that point, Tamar should have dropped his so-called white chocolate self right then and there, no hesitation. But you know how Tamar gets. When she's in love, logic leaves the chat. Everyone around her could see the red flags waving, but Tamar didn't want to hear it. And now, with all this mess out in public, she's left dealing with the fallout from a man who clearly couldn't keep his mouth or his loyalty in check. So despite all the red flags, Tamar kept doing her thing, proudly shouting, "My man, my man, my man." Even though, let's be real, JR was acting like he belonged to everybody. Her man was out here being everybody's man, and the streets had a front row seat to the mess. Eventually, JR pulled a classic move, flipped the script, dumped her, and left Tamar spiraling right there on Beyonce's internet for the world to see. For a while, everyone moved on. The gossip cooled down, timelines went quiet, and folks forgot all about the Tamar JR fiasco, until Toni decided to snatch that skeleton right back out the closet. When Tamar tried to throw shade at Toni's marriage and Birdman drama, Toni hit back with that viral, "Isn't this you?" energy, reminding everyone of her sister's own chaotic relationship. It was the ultimate clapback moment. The timing, the delivery, chef's kiss. Toni knew exactly where to hit, and the internet ate it up. And that's the thing about the Braxton family. When they bring the drama, they don't just bring it, they live it, breathe it, and broadcast it for the whole world to watch. But y'all, here's where things go from spicy to downright explosive. Tamar just pulled the ultimate family sabotage move, and Toni is not taking it lightly this time. Sources say the tension in that family chat is thicker than ever, and at this point, the question isn't if someone's gonna snap, it's when. Because let's be honest, there's no drama like family drama. The Braxton sisters know exactly how to push each other's buttons, and if this tea keeps spilling, it won't just stay on TV. It's gonna blow up across social media, headlines, and maybe even the courtroom. What started as sister shade could turn into a full-blown public meltdown that nobody, and I mean nobody, saw coming. One thing's for sure, though. When the Braxtons go to war, the internet eats it up every single time. And with Tamar and Toni throwing bombs back and forth, this saga is far from over. So tell me what y'all think. Did Tamar cross the line? Or was Toni asking for it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button, smash the subscribe, and use that YouTube hype feature to show some love. This is Spill Zone, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. See you on the next one.